So hi, and you are?
I'm Grant House.
Tell me what's going on here today.
Oh wow, Larry, it's really fun. All the little kids are here being on their big full-scale toy train.
So this is train day?
It's train day, and I think it brings out the little kid in all of us, right? Right, Michael?
Yes, yes.
And what's so important about trains?
Oh my gosh, it's the most efficient way to get around. Here in Santa Barbara, we need them for commuters to relieve the freeway. It's healthy, it's fun, you can get work done and relax. Trains are good.
Okay, well, nice to see you.
All right, thank you.
And you are?
I'm Michael T. Bennett.
And tell me what you like about trains.
Well, I just love to travel. It's such an easy, casual means to do so. I have family in San Diego, so I ride the train all the time. And it's such a pleasure to be moving along and noticing the freeway off to the other side of you, and they're all stuck in traffic. And you can just sit there and, you know, have a nice beverage, have something to eat, read a book, study, do some work online, whatever you want to do. It's just fabulous.
That's true. And where are we going to go from here?
Well, we're going to go back to Santa Barbara, and we're going to have a news conference at the Santa Barbara Depot. And we're going to talk about some new developments on providing an opportunity for commuters to come from Ventura County up here into Santa Barbara and Goleta to go to work in the morning and then return in the evening. And it's pretty exciting.
Okay, well, nice to see you, Michael.
It's a pleasure.
Bye.
Well, hi, and you are?
Patricia Schwartz.
And tell me, who's putting this on today?
COAST, Coalition for Sustainable Transportation.
And do you know anything about them?
Yeah, I know that they are promoting alternative transportation, and which is very exciting to me because I think that here we are in California. It's so easy to take alternative transportation. It's so easy to ride your bike and to take a train. We aren't slugging through snow or anything like that. So I would really like to see more train transportation, maybe a light rail or something like that. So I'm just really grateful that they're putting themselves out here to promote train transport on train day.
Okay, well, nice to see you.
Thank you.
So, hi, what's going on today?
Well, it's Rachel's first train ride today.
Really?
Yeah.
And what do you like about trains?
What do you like about trains, Rachel? Choo-choo? You like the choo-choo?
And you, what do you like about them?
It's easy and convenient.
Have you used them much?
Well, I'm from New York, so I ride trains all the time.
Oh, I bet. Okay, we got to get more into the train mode here in California. Yeah. Okay, well, nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you. Say bye-bye.
You have anything you'd like to say about what you like about trains, ladies?
I probably don't.
Okay. And you?
I'm just excited the baby's going on the train for her first train. Yeah,
okay.
So we're excited about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Well, hi there, and what do you like about trains?
I like trains because it connects you to the whole idea of transportation throughout the country. It's something that our country really, really needs, and to support it is a good thing to do.
Nice. And you?
I like the views, and you get to see things that you don't normally see, and you're a little higher up, and it's very relaxing. The seats are, you know, comfortable. You can spread out, you can work on the train, and it's, except for the schedule, it's convenient.
Well, thank you. And you?
As June said, I love the efficiency of them, or potential. They should be more efficient. Hopefully they will be one day, like in Europe, how we can experience how wonderful that is. So if we could ever accomplish that here in the United States, it would be fantastic. And the area that's required for the train is so much less than what's required for automobiles. So I love getting out of not having to use my automobile and being able to get around without having to be on the freeway and stuck in traffic.
Nice. And tell me what you like.
I agree with everybody. We all love rail for so many reasons. The quality of the ride, the serenity, the fact that you don't have to use your car. It's wonderful.
And you?
Hi, Larry. I like the combination of the trains, the buses, the walking, the bicycling, so that I have all those opportunities to get where I'm going. And then I have my car when that doesn't work. So I feel like I've got the best of everything.
Nice. Oh, what organization are you with?
COAST.
Coalition for Sustainable Transportation.
And tell me about COAST.
Well, Coast does a lot of programs. I mean, because one thing is to identify problems. A step further is to try to fix those problems, getting to having children to walk to school and ride their bicycles to school. This is our Safe Routes to School program. And now we have this Vision Zero program to try to fight for 0 fatalities, because 12 people were killed in the last few years in Santa Barbara, pedestrians, and that's just 12 too many. So,
well, why is it happening? Is it because they're quieter, the trains, or why are there fatalities?
Oh, these are traffic fatalities, not train fatalities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Or people want to commit suicide too.
Yeah. Okay.
Or homeless people that they're not too sure where they are. I really don't know anything about train fatalities. But Coast works with schools, with the general public in an advocacy role, trying to fix infrastructure, improve infrastructure for pedestrians, crosswalks, design of roads, just to make it easier for everybody to walk and ride their bicycle. And so you don't have to use your car so much.
Okay.
So tell me, what are some of the problems?
Well, some of the problems with trains, at least here in California, compared to other places, and we're working on trying to change that, but the schedules are not predictable. So there's a lot of delays, particularly on the trains coming through Santa Barbara, and that's because of sharing the rail with freight and whatnot. And the other problem is the costs, unfortunately, are not always very competitive with other means. Those are really the two issues, but the ride and the comfort and the convenience and the fun of it is all stellar. Yeah, so we have to work on cost, we have to work on schedule.
Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would just like to say that it needs to be more efficient, a business model, so that people can actually use the train for work, being able to get to and from their homes, not just for, right now it seems like it only works if you are retired and if you have a lot of time and can just go be on the train. The trains, because we don't have 2 tracks, for example, you can't get anywhere quickly. You have to just have leisure time, and most people don't have that. So the train should be competitive just like everything else, and be able to provide that service of the efficiency to get to work, not just for recreation.
Thank you.
The thing that I think about is that our government is really supporting the oil and the automobile industries in a massive way. They need to get behind trains and rail in the same way that they've supported the other forms of transportation. We have a national highway system. Let's get a national train system that really works.
Earlier about why there's fatalities on the train tracks. So this is my thought on that. My thought is, all over the world, trains are a major means of transportation. They're used daily by millions of people, and they coexist in the backyards and in the downtowns of major metropolises everywhere. Here, where we are, because we don't have the frequent train use, and the trains that do come by are, off schedule, you can't really tell, and you're not tuned in to what's the culture for you crossing the tracks, like they are in other areas where the train is more of a part of their day-to-day, hour-to-hour lifestyle.
Oh, nice trains.
Benjamin, show me your train.
That's so cute, Benjamin.
So, what do you like about trains?
I don't know. I just like them.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them about National Train Day that you've gone the last 4 years?
Well, I've been going to National Train Day for the last 4 years.
Really?
Yes.
And did you ride on the train each year?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, how would you say trains are different than cars?
I have no idea.
Are they more fun in a way than a car?
I think so.
Okay. And you kind of go through different areas. You get a different view, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and your name is?
Max.
Okay, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I think I might want to be a train driver.
Nice. Okay, good for you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, and you are?
Paula Perotti, from
Paula.
the mayor of the city of Goleta.
And why are you here today?
Well, it's National Train Day, and we decided that we'd be part of the big event that they're having at the Santa Barbara Amtrak station, and ride this train with my 2 grandchildren, my husband, and their cousins and family to Carpinteria. It was their first train experience.
Was it a good one?
Yeah, it was very good. They did not want to get off.
Okay. Well, thank you. And how's Goleta doing?
Goleta's doing well, thank you. We're doing good. We're doing really good.
Keep up your good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Behind the line. Stay behind the line. Here it comes.
Take it more. Take it more. You just flip.
It's 11 minutes left!
Hey, Austin, come here. Hey, Austin.
I got it.
Back up.
It's 11 minutes!
Back up, boys.
Let's all stay back, okay? The train's going really fast.
Yeah, hold on.
Salud Carbajal is going to run the program. Our Santa Barbara County Supervisor, he's also the county and SBCAG's representative on LOSAN, which is the regional rail authority that governs the tracks between San Luis Obispo and San Diego. And Salud's been doing a great job on our behalf representing us at LOSAN.
Thank you, Greg. Let's hear it for Greg, our staff member on SBCAG. And he also happens to be, for all of us that know, a council member for the city of Santa Barbara. I want to welcome you all to the 8th annual National Santa Barbara Train Day. How many of you rode the train this morning? Woo, that's a lot of people. I'm kind of jealous. I got here a little later for the ceremony. So I hope you guys all had a wonderful time. I have taken that train and done that track many a times, and I know how fun and how cool it is. So thank you all. I want to introduce a number of our dignitaries that in a while are going to say a few words. But at this point, I'm just introducing them. We have our most distinguished and the biggest champion, if I might say, for our rail efforts here in Santa Barbara County, State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson. We also have, representing our state assembly member, Doss Williams, Hillary Blackerby. We have Michael Bennett, representing the city of Goleta, council member. We have Mayor Helene Schneider, representing the city of Santa Barbara. We have Mayor Paula Perotti, representing the city of Goleta. And again, we have our extraordinary council member, Greg Hart, representing the city of Santa Barbara. We also have Scott Spalding from SBCAG staff. We have former council member, city of Santa Barbara, Grant House, or as I say it, Grant Casa. We also have representing RailPAC, Mr. Paul Dyson. To set the tone today for why we're here celebrating the great contribution that trains make to our communities and our country is Dennis Story from CRN, Dennis, could you come up? And also, if I may say this, Dennis has been him and Mr. Dyson have been the two citizens that I have known have been making sure that rail is at the forefront of our community's issues, interests, and priorities. And it is these two individuals that have really pressed us as policymakers to really make sure that we're moving our discussions and our efforts forward and to realize rail solutions for our community. Please help me welcome Mr. Dennis Story.
Let me see if I can press things a little more here. I don't speak as well as Salud, so I'm going to read it, but I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Our region, as well as the rest of the country, has long struggled to keep with the demand of travelers, both commuters and those who are visiting or passing through. Studies are done, plans are made, but the implementation of those plans can be quite a challenge, as we know. 101 in Motion created the regional plan for our area here, and Measure A was the way to find the money to get the job done. The economy has slowed down, but along with the capital challenges are the planning challenges that have been in the news of late, whether it be right or left hand on and off ramps, along with the UP Railroad Bridge conundrum, and the beat goes on. This is just to get warmed up for the last 12 miles of the 101 to be widened to Carpinteria, the land acquisition that will be needed, and the multitude of overpasses that have to be built. Estimates are about 10 years for the completion of this, but I think 15 is more like it. Train and lane was the mantra for Measure A during the campaign, as commuter rail polled equally with widening the 101, believe it or not. As we move through the many years of road construction of the 101, the commuter rail service that's part of Measure A would serve as mitigation for the years and years of 101 construction. And this is where rail and road cross. Let's think of them as complementary to one another, and the projects that are needed to solve our regional issues will work together to get the job done. And these folks here are the ones that are going to be on the ground getting it done. And I really appreciate them being here. And Salud, I pass it off to you.
Thank you, Dennis. Great job. Now we're going to have a few of those individuals, dignitaries that I mentioned, speak a little bit about our rail efforts and all the many things that they're doing to help move our efforts forward. First, again, we have our State Senator, Hannah Beth Jackson.
Well, I want to thank you for being here. This is what, the 8th year that we've been doing this? You know, that rail line has been there for a lot longer than 8 years. But when it comes to bringing people to and from our great community to work or to play, we end up more with freight than with people. And we just saw the Surfliner, which is one of the most successful lines in the entire country. And the question that I've asked and that you've been working on for years is, why is that so? Why are we limiting ourselves? The possibilities of rail travel are not only limitless, but they're really critically important. It's critically important in the reduction of greenhouse gases. It's critically important to move people from home to work on a daily basis. We know we have over 11,500 cars that come up to Santa Barbara from Ventura County every single day. Let's put some of those people on a train, don't you think? So I want to thank all of you, because this is preaching to the choir, but I have to say I like preaching to the choir. It's fun. But hopefully we get the word out to others who haven't even been thinking about this. And it's hard to believe, but it's taken so long to get this mantra, the drum that you've been banging, and Mr. Story, you have been absolutely indomitable in this effort, along with so many of the other folks who are here today. But I want to tell you what's been happening in the legislature. You know, many of us, I think, are motivated by that book that we read as little kids called The Little Engine That Could. And aren't we the little engine that could? I think I can. I think I can. We are going to climb that mountain. That mountain has a lot of kind of components to it, including Union Pacific Railroad, and including the fact that it's going to take some money to stimulate this effort, which then will pay for itself, and actually I think very profitable. So getting the ear of the folks who actually stand to benefit from this financially has been a challenge, but I will tell you, I think we finally got their ear. And toward that vision, last year I was able to secure $25 million in the Transit and Intercity Capital Program budget to get started on this. Then I think more, I'll take that round of applause, sure, Lionel. But then I think even more importantly, you know, the governor wanted to take 25% of the cap and trade monies that we're expecting to put in for high-speed rail. Well, I was able to successfully negotiate for a 10% of cap and trade funds to be used for intercity rail projects going forward. So we will see a guaranteed revenue stream, which, you know, if you understand this financial stuff, probably better than I, but when you have a guaranteed revenue stream, the people with the money become much more interested in working with you. So now they're interested, and we have the Secretary of Transportation, Brian Kelly, has agreed to retime one of the Amtrak trains in the morning so that we can do our first shot at commuter time rail. We're not supposed to call it commuter rail, so it's commuter timed rail. We're going to be working with Union Pacific in hopes that they will agree to a second rail, and I'm told that this all pencils out so that everybody can make a profit at this. So that is going to be very exciting. But you know, even though the Jack O'Connell approach to politics, he once told me the key is to take credit for everything you can. There are a lot of people who deserve credit for this, including Santa Barbara County Association of Governments, SBCAG, the Ventura County Transportation Commission, Department of Transportation, Amtrak, Metrolink, and Union Pacific. We're all at the table now, and this is really kind of groundbreaking. So thanks to all of you who have worked so hard to make this happen, and we are hoping for the beginning of our commuter timed rail to start in the spring of 2016. So within hopefully 1 year, we will see that first train coming. We estimate conservatively, and I think this is very conservatively, 200 people a day taking that train up. I think once they realize we're going to have good trains, we're going to be using the higher quality trains, we're hopefully going to have Wi-Fi on it, and I envision in the morning a little coffee car that in the evening turns around to be a little iPub. What do you think? If the word's out, rather than sit in traffic for an hour and a half going home, you can finish up your day's work, maybe take a nap, maybe have a brewski and talk to some of your new friends on the train. I think this is a complete win-win. And with high-tech, green tech, and clean technology companies starting here and growing throughout our Central Coast region, this elegant retiming solution, I think, is the beginning of bringing morning commuters through, encouraging the growth of a corridor that is going to create tremendous economic opportunity for this community. Thank you all for helping us make it happen.
You know, Hannah Beth is being a little bashful. She, you know, I know it's hard for Hannah Beth to be like that, but I will tell you, she started the rail caucus in the state legislature. We've been having discussions about retiming in our rail, commuter rail, passenger rail project that we've been trying to move forward. And quite frankly, we've been having symposiums, discussions. We've all been racking our brains trying to move our efforts forward. And it wasn't until Hannah Beth Jackson rolled up her sleeves and really got involved. And now we see the progress that we're seeing because of Senator Jackson. And I want to recognize her for all her good work. Next, I want to introduce Hillary Blackerby, representing Assembly Member Doss Williams.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here. I'll just say briefly, happy train day, and we're excited that things are happening. New and different things are happening on the train front here. We're really excited to be a part of that and to watch it happen. We're knocking on wood as this is metal, but to make sure that it happens. But want to just encourage everyone to keep the conversation going, let people know that this is something that is going to happen. We have to make it happen, and we're excited to see it happen and to see all these partners work together to make it as efficient and make it make sense for commuters that work up here. So have a great day, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Hillary. Next, I want to introduce Mayor Helene Schneider.
Thank you, Salud. Salud and I have, since I've been mayor and on SBCAG, working together, and Salud, as you know, is SBCAG's representative to Lausanne. I serve as the alternate, and so having a team there working on this is really very exciting. When this happens, not if, but when it happens in the spring of 2016, if you look around, you'll have a new children's museum ready to go. We'll have the Entrada finally ready to go. We'll have all these reasons for people to come up here and be car-free Santa Barbara, something that we've been talking about for many years, and having all these great activities right here in Santa Barbara, even for people who aren't coming to work, for people who want to play, who want to stay around. It's very exciting. And to see all these little connecting the dots happen is finally happening. 10 years ago, and Grant House will remember this, and many of you will remember this, I know Dennis Story, we had a summit, right, with former council member Roger Horton and Mike Dukakis, who was on that time on the board of Amtrak, talking about this. And so, as Senator Hannah Beth Jackson says, we've been doing a lot of the work, and finally the connecting the dots is finally happening. As well as on Lausanne, I serve as vice chair of the Coastal Rail Coordinating Council, and that's looking at trying to bring the daylight back to the coast. And we talk about how the 101 and the 5 are the two corridors for cars and trucks going up, but the rails, you got Tehachapi Canyon, when that fails for whatever reason, the coastal line is the backup for all the freight. And so there's been a challenge of trying to increase passenger rail up to that area. We have one train, right, the Starlight, that comes from Seattle down to LA, and we used to have a daylight back in the 70s, and now we want to bring it back. And finally, when you have Lausanne, the Coastal Rail Coordinating Council, the San Joaquin Corridor, the Capital Corridor, Metrolink, everyone coming together saying, these are the things that we need. We're all speaking the same message, the same advocacy when we go up to Sacramento. So when you go to these summits and when you go to these lobby days up in Sacramento and meet with Hannah Beth and also meet with a number of other assembly members and state senators, they're hearing the same tune from all across the state. And if you think about it, when that message is stronger together, and you're hearing the state legislation saying, you know what, my constituents also take the train, and what's good for freight must be also good for passenger rail. We need to make this work together, and seeing that cumulative effect happen is really very exciting. So I really want to thank all of you, because you're the ones, the groundswell to keep that going. I know it can be frustrating after all this time to finally get to something, but we're so close. We're so close, and let's just keep it, and seeing it past that finish line. We'll be so excited in spring 2016 when that happens for peak hour rail or commuter time friendly rail, whatever you want to call it. It's new rail. It's great, and we're excited about it, and I really appreciate your leadership and your advocacy all this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Helene. I know what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the HBJ rail. Next, a few miles up the, well, actually, no, before we go to Goleta, Councilmember Greg Hart, who's also been working on this and many other transportation issues in our community.
Well, I don't think there's really much left to say at this point, as Hannah-Beth and Helene and Salud have very eloquently, much more eloquently than I, have said this morning that this has been a very, very long time in coming. All of you have been part of this since the very beginning. There you go. That's going to probably happen more often these days. But the power of this idea is its simplicity. You know, we've got this congested highway. We've got 15,000 people coming up from Ventura County on a daily basis who are stuck in traffic. And then we have these tracks just sitting here. And it is just obvious that we need to use those to help solve that problem. And I think that's what sustained this effort. That's what's made it powerful. That's what's given it energy. And as everybody else has said, we've really pulled all of the pieces together. We've got the financing. We've got the attention of the state, thanks to Senator Jackson. We have local control about to begin in terms of programming the Pacific Surfliner and all the Amtrak tracks that are Amtrak trains that are running in the corridor. That's about to begin in the next month. So because of persistence and hard work and the little engine that could, and time and effort and focus and your advocacy, we are really, really close. And I hope that next year at the 9th train day, we will be celebrating the beginning of this new passenger rail service that'll serve commuters. So with that, look forward to a great year.
Thank you, Greg. Moving up north, just a few miles, we have Mayor Paula Perotti from the city of Goleta.
Thank you, Salud. Well, I'm usually never at a loss for words when it comes to traveling by train. I started traveling by train with my daughters when they were very young. I had a particular daughter that hated being in a car seat, and my husband and I just did not know, I guess we're never going to travel. What are we going to do? Let's try the train. And from then on, I was sold. So I'm hoping that we will get more people to really take the train once it's available to come up, to commute up to our way, up to Goleta. We have a lot of people that commute in from Oxnard and Ventura. And I think the new book should, Senator Jackson, I think the new book should say, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We're just going to keep saying that. But I'd like to bring up Councilmember Michael Bennett, who will have a few more words to say. I'm losing my voice. I'm getting over something. So the more I talk, then I will start coughing. So Councilmember Bennett, you're never at a loss of words. So would you join me?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'll never be lost for words. Well, in order to make this retimed regional rail, because as we previously heard, you can't call it commuter rail, it has to be the success for I'm convinced, of the business community. And since the city of Goleta is the end of the line for this opportunity, it's very important for us to engage our business community, all the high-tech businesses that are out in Goleta, in which we know that about 15 to 20% of their employees come from down south. And there's an issue of distribution once they arrive at the station, which I believe can be solved by the business community and working together with MTD. We've got some issues on the end of the line that we're going to be working on. Direct Relief International, their warehouse sits right next to our little skinny parking lot that if you've ever tried to park there knows you almost can't get in and you almost can't get out, especially if someone's parked somewhere else, they're not going to get out. So we're going to improve. I'm hopeful we will be improving all of this when Direct Relief International concludes their negotiations with the city of Santa Barbara and moves their new warehouse to the airport location. And then that will vacate that warehouse. And even though the City of Goleta Council hasn't approved anything yet, there's still a number of us that have this interest and would like to see us go forward and create a parking lot that buses can turn around. That's a big problem in that particular area. Buses can't go down La Patera and turn around easily, and be able to move the people once they arrive. So we've got some work ahead of us. I think we're up to the challenge, and I too hope that next spring when we're here, we can celebrate the success of all of this, and it'll be inclusive of all of our communities. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael and Mayor Perotti. Next, we have Mr. Paul Dyson, who is going to present a very special award in recognition to someone, and I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you, everybody.
It's always a great day in Santa Barbara, right? It doesn't take much to get me up here. I love coming up here. I'm Paul Dyson. I'm the president of the Rail Passengers Association of California. We take a lot of the blame for trains coming to Santa Barbara, going all the way back to the 1980s, where we helped put together a coalition of folks to get the then 3 round-trip trains between LA and San Diego expanded, and then 2 of those trains extended first to Santa Barbara and then later on to Goleta. We've managed to assist getting more trains since then. We've reached a bit of a plateau until now, and I'm really excited about the fact that we have this powerhouse of politicians sitting up here that are actually getting things done. I just want to make 2 comments on that. Number one is, there's nothing more important than putting together a coalition of people with the same interest. And while we have a local coalition here with particular interest in this part of the line, at the same time, we need a statewide coalition with people who want to extend service up to Roseville. They want to run trains out to Palm Springs. They want to extend the service, the Capitol Corridor down to Salinas. The common element here is the Union Pacific Railroad. And instead of each community going to UP saying we want to do something with our train service, going there separately and being knocked over and sent away empty-handed, we need a coalition of all of those groups to go with some strength from the state level and say, let's make a grand deal here with UP. Let's do some stuff to help the good freight movements, which our economy depends on, and at the same time, let's get some more access for passenger trains so that all parts of the community can benefit from this. So that's basically what I've got to say. RailPac is still here. We've been here for 30 years. We rely on donations and memberships. We are an all-volunteer group. And Dennis Story is our local board member. And I know he's been mentioned before, but I can't say too much for what Dennis has done for this community here. He has kept the flame burning and kept this issue alive as other people have come and gone. So thank you, Dennis, for all that you've done. From time to time, even though we're an impoverished group, we splash out and we make an award to somebody who we feel has made an extraordinary effort in moving our agenda forward for passenger rail in the state. I have here a plaque from the Rail Passenger Association of California, from our 1,000 members, that acknowledges and commends this person for their commitment to the improvement and expansion of intercity passenger rail here in California. And I have very great pleasure in presenting this award to State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson for all that she has done. It's a picture of Santa Barbara Depot with the coast starlight. I hope you'll keep it on your wall. And I look forward to seeing the Senator at the passenger rail hearing in Sacramento next Thursday at 10 a.m. The Senator is extraordinarily energetic and put together a select committee on passenger rail in the Senate, and then because of her impetus, she shamed the Assembly into doing the same thing. So with great persistence, they've managed to schedule, in the middle of all the legislative session, they scheduled a joint hearing between the two bodies, and I think it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very well supported. So thank you, Senator.
Now I really feel the pressure. Next year, we'll all be celebrating. That was very cleverly done. I really am honored. And you know, this is something that really needs to happen 5 years ago, whether it's for greenhouse gas emissions and the saving our planet or our quality of life. You just can't keep building freeways everywhere. And I think that rail, I just came back from Japan, actually. I was there about 3 weeks ago to study their high-speed rail program and their regular rail program. You know, they have 13 million people in Tokyo. It's hard to move people from place to place, but their passenger rail system is used by everyone. Their high-speed rail is extraordinary. Every 5 to 7 minutes, the high-speed rail runs, and the trains are full of people. It's a cultural shift that we need to make, and now's the time, and I'll be honored to be part of that. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. We couldn't do this event annually without our partners and our sponsors, so I want to recognize those sponsors. Omni Catering, Fresco Catering, Amtrak, Railpack, Coast Rail Now, R.L. Banks and Associates, Tom Messer, where is he? Thank you all for coming. Mr. Dyson is going to close our program today. Mr. Dyson, where are you?
Well, everything that needed to be said has been said, except to thank you all for coming. Keep up the good work. We are here as a statewide organization to support your local effort, and we appreciate this. This is a tremendous, as I say, it's a powerhouse here on this panel, and if anybody can get things done, these folks will. So, trains next year.
Lots of goodies. Please take some home or eat some or give some to your neighbor or something.
Helene, what did you think about this program today?
You know, every year Train Day is a lot of fun. Every year we're getting just that much closer, and I think by this time next year we really might see some great peak hour service enhancements in Santa Barbara and throughout the South Coast. It's really very exciting.
Okay, well, thanks for your good work.
Thank you very much.
And you are?
I'm Scott Spalding. I'm the rail planner for the Santa Barbara County Association of Governments.
And dropped your sticker there. And what does that involve, being rail planner?
So the Santa Barbara County Association of Governments, SBCAG, is responsible for regional transportation planning, and among that is planning for rail service throughout Santa Barbara County and connecting to San Luis Obispo County, as well as further south, Ventura, LA, and all the way down to San Diego. We're part of the Surfliner Joint Powers Authority agency that has taken over operating control of the Pacific Surfliner service, which is the second busiest service in the entire country.
Are you paid staff with SBCAG?
Yeah, I'm staff with SBCAG.
I see. Okay. And what can people do if they want to help promote Train Day?
The best thing that people can do is contact their local representatives and let them know that they support enhanced train service throughout the entire corridor, both regionally and locally, and just make sure that everyone knows that there is that support for improving train service.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, Salud, what do you think about this happening here again today?
Today's yet another great day because we're celebrating the importance and contributions of rail that rail has had throughout our country and in our own community. And it's a great, clean, green way of traveling. It's safe, and it allows for us to have yet another mode of transportation to improve the lives of all Californians.
And you're a county supervisor. What can the supervisors do to help the situation?
Well, as county supervisors, we participate with the SBCAG, Santa Barbara County Association of Governments. And we are a contributing partner in moving forward rail solutions for our area. For example, I am the liaison from SBCAG to the LOSAN board, which is the joint powers agency that is responsible for ensuring that we maximize our rail opportunities along the corridor between San Diego and Goleta, actually San Luis Obispo. But we are working on a number of projects from Ventura County to Goleta.
Okay. Well, hello there, and you are?
My name's George Eston.
And George, tell me, are you a train supporter?
Oh, I'm a huge train supporter. And why am I a huge train supporter? Well, I grew up, I was a kid on the East Coast and rode the train at least once a month from my hometown of Cumberland to Baltimore, Maryland. And trains were basic to us in terms of communicating and communing. You're going to edit that, right, Larry?
Yeah, I'll try it.
I'm sorry. Trains were basic in getting around and continue to be basic on the East Coast. to travel from Washington to Baltimore to Philadelphia to New York, Boston. It's really the primary way to go, and to visit other countries, European countries and Asian countries where trains transport people in a timely fashion, in a safe fashion, get off on crowded freeways. It's just a very efficient and pleasant way to go. And for those people who want to commute from home to work, it's a great way to sit down and reflect on what you're planning for the day or what you've done for the day, and not have to worry about being hit by a car swerving from the right or from the left or stopping abruptly in front of you. I think the fact that we have not been able to develop efficient and effective rail service within our cities and between our cities is a real tragedy, and it's really great to see the promise that this opportunity presents to the Santa Barbara, Ventura, Goleta, Oxnard region.
Well, thank you, George, and I know your wife also, Hannah Beth Jackson, has done a lot of good work for train.
Well, this has been a very important item on her multifaceted agenda to get efficient rail service in the corridor between these cities, between San Luis Obispo and Camarillo, throughout her district, and it's really satisfying to see it finally come to fruition.
Well, thanks, George.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what did you think about
Look in the camera, look at you.
At me if you would.
Good.
What did you think about this get-together today?
Well, it's always exciting to get people who are so committed to seeing us improve our environment and our opportunities to find other alternative transportation methods other than just staying in our cars, going slow down the freeway, further polluting the air. This is a great option, and bringing this energy together and recommitting to that effort is always exciting for me.
Do you find the Assembly is interested in it, the State Assembly overall, or is it a struggle?
Well, of course, I'm involved in the Senate now, and but I think the legislature as a whole, I think the state as a whole is recognizing the importance of alternative energies, alternative transportation methods, generally speaking, thinking outside the box. We live in a 21st century world with lots of new technologies, opportunities to change our patterns, our living patterns of commuting, perhaps working from home some of the time, finding alternative ways to get to work when we go to work. With the price of gas so high, with the fact that it does create greenhouse gas emissions that have warmed the planet, we really need to take some dramatic steps. And looking at the rail systems and the new technologies that can move people faster, more smoothly, more efficiently, more reliably, this is a win-win, and I'm delighted to be part of that.
Do you have any thoughts what viewers can do to help support the train movement?
Well, sure. First of all, they can consider taking the train. Once we get that commuter timed rail up here, people should really think about getting out of their cars and taking the train. They should also think of alternatives while we're waiting for a train, whether it's carpooling or taking the bus. We've got a terrific system here of people getting out of their cars, having Wi-Fi available on the way to work, just relaxing a little bit rather than spending all that frustrating time in traffic. So if we start thinking of alternatives to our cars, other ways to get where we need to go, I think we'll really be moving that ball forward.
Okay, well thanks, Hannah Beth, and keep up the good work in the State Senate.
Thank you very much.
So how do you think the program went today?
Well, it's very encouraging. There's a great number of people riding the train, both on the short trip down to Carpinteria and up to San Luis Obispo, and we really think that there's a lot of momentum now behind improving passenger rail service up here.
Okay, well keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Well, and you are?
I'm Lee Moldaver, a resident of Santa Barbara.
Tell me, why are you here today?
Well, I love National Train Day. I grew up with trains. I've used commuter rail in big metro areas all over the world. It's cost effective, it's fun, it's a stress buster, and I still use it now. I take the Amtrak Surfliner down to Burbank all the time to switch to Southwest or JetBlue or Alaska Airlines. It gets me connected all over the world at a reasonable price. They have Wi-Fi. You can rest. You can prep for work. You can watch the world go by through your window. There's no stress, and it's an environmentally friendly way to travel all over the United States and all over the world. You don't have to worry about what's coming out of the tailpipe. And it's a great social thing to do. You don't have to be watching the traffic and the steering wheel. You can meet people on the train and make wonderful new friends. So on National Train Day, I just thought I really had to be down here to support what Coastal Rail Now and the local coalition is doing to make train travel even more widely used and even more affordable.
I like the phrase you use, stress buster. Huh?
Oh, yeah, there's such a huge difference, especially if you're living in Southern California, between trying to go down on 101 or the 405. Even during times of light traffic, people are whizzing by or you're not moving at all. But if you're up on the train, like with the Amtrak Surfliner, you're just gliding by, you know, like at 50 or 60 miles an hour. You're able to look out at the ocean or at the mountains, and you see the line of stressed out cars and the fender benders backed up as far as you can see. And I never fail to think, boy, am I glad I'm on with the Amtrak rather than out on the street.
Well, thank you, Lee. Nice to get your support.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Kyla Aberg.
What would you like to say?
I've been here since I was 2 and I love Train Day. It's been a lot of fun. You get to make cookies, you get to have a bunch of fun here. It's just really fun.
Okay, and you have something you're going to perform for us?
Yeah, I have a little dance.
Okay, let's see.
I heart Train Day, yes I do. I heart Train Day, how about you? Train Day!
Well, Dennis Story, another great event that you've organized here, and now you've been working about 10 years getting commuter rail from Ventura to up here?
Yes, more like 12, 13 years when we started Coastal Rail Now way back when. And the idea of this was to bring a commuter train from Ventura to Goleta for the commuters, to take some stress off the road. Because we only have a 2-lane road coming up from Ventura. There's a plan in the works for widening that road, but it's going to be 10 to 15 years before that's done. And you know, when I started, it was going to be 10 to 15 years. And you know what it is today? It's 10 or 15 years, and that's 10 years later. Because that's what happens when it takes time to do plans, find the money, and so on and so forth. Well, Measure A in 2008, that was how we found the money when we passed the transportation tax, which included $25 million for commuter rail. And that's there because I was at the table and I insisted that there be money for commuter rail, and we've got it. And now Hannah Beth Jackson, who you saw here today, is at work in Sacramento as state senator to get this train going, and she is very diligent and she is tenacious, and she's going to make this happen. And we hope next year when we're back here for the 9th annual National Train Day at Santa Barbara, we're going to have that train running.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your great work on this project, Dennis.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Larry Nimmer, for always being here for us.
My pleasure.